So, one more thing. Next slide, bro.
Which of these two statements is true?
Answer this question here. Read
白
that.
人
You all
が
can read it too.
140点以上
Which of these statements
ア
is
ジア
true?
系アメリカ人よりも高く点数を取らないといけないか、あとはどっち？
Turn to the person next to you and answer the question. What do you think
ア
it
ジア
is?
系アメリカ人が
Which one's true? A or B?
アジア系アメリカ人が140点高く取らないといけないか、アメリカの大学に入るために。いやでもこれ断然アジア系アメリカ人だろうね。不利なの。140点高く取らなくちゃいけないのって。
Yo.
何？ The Asian American student
What do you
must
think it is?
score
Me?
Yeah.
140
I think it's
point.
B.
You think it's B? Wait, hang on. Why do you here? You can take
B
What do
が
you
ア
think
ジア
it's
系アメ
B?
リカ人が不利。
I guess just based off of the logic of the
俺もそう思う。
dating app example that you made, I would just assume that the minority has to score more points than someone who's in the majority.
ね。
But we have a lot of discrimination, don't we? Like against. Bro, what do you think it is? A or B? You think it's A?
Yeah.
Why is that?
白人の方が不利。
I was always told that like it was the hardest to get into college if you're a white male with brown eyes and brown
え？
hair.
本当かよ。
That's just what I was told.
So you would say that. So that would be.
どよめいてるじゃん。
All right.
本当？
Dude, what do you think the answer is?
それ嘘じゃね？
Wait, what do you think it is?
圧倒的にアジア系の方が大変でしょ。
I think it's A.
えい！
Because.
白人の方が不利。そ
I think I don't know. I just think it's A just because
う。マジ
the
か。
minority thing.
Uh huh. Okay. Listen. What do you
お、
think
白
it is?
人が言ってんの？ラテン系の人が言ってんのね。
B? Why? What is behind your answer to B? You think it's B?
Yeah, I think it's
B
B.
じゃね？
Well, yeah. Why do you say B?
Okay, so when I was applying even in India, for here, I wasn't considered an international student, so I was still considered a domestic in-state student. But they did tell me that like you would be put into the pool with everyone else that's like white here, but you would have to have a higher score regardless. Because I wouldn't be put in with the international students or
ああ、まあそれそうだ
Uh huh.
な。
Okay. What do you think, bro? What's the answer? A or B?
I think B.
You think B? Why
B
B?
だよね。いや、普通に B だよな。
Why B, dude?
いやでも
Do you not
そ
have
う
an
か
answer?
ね。
You just think it's B?
I just think it's B.
Dude, are there any Asian Americans out here who have an answer to this question? They
The
feel like they
SAT
want
to
to say
gain
it.
the admission. うん。
My Filipino.
そうだね。アジア系に
You
不利
Asian
か。
American? Dude, what do you say it
白
is?
人に不利か。
Well,
Wait, can you stand up real fast?
oh yes.
I want you to, where are you from? I mean, what's your family from?
My family's, my dad's from China, mainland China, and my mom's from Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know where you got these numbers from, but I do know that there was a Harvard study done on the SAT scores of all the admitted students, and on average, Asians have roughly 100 more SAT points than the average white
And
student.
why
So
is
nice.
that, do you think?
Well, I think it's because colleges usually, when they look at the applicants, they want to shoot for a diverse student
Yeah.
pool,
ま
and so as a result, they either hardly or softly they impose some kind of racial quota on the students, and what happens is that you would have Asian students competing with Asian students, white students competing with white students, and
Yeah.
people of the same race competing with each other, and what you would happen is just as a result, you would have students, and because there's so many applicants, say, applying to Harvard who are Asian, they all have to compete for those like applications, but there is only so many spots available.
Okay.
まあ
Anybody
分
else
からな
wanna
くは
add
な
to
いけど
that real fast?
な。
Do you want to add to it?
いろんな人種を入れたいっていうのは。 頭いい大学全部
So
ア
I
ジア人
think
になり
it's
そうだ
B
し。
because Harvard is actually being sued right now by Asian Americans for discriminating
あ
against
った
them
ね。
for actually not even giving them any kind of acceptance, probably because of this.
Yeah. So one of the issues going on, and to one of the issues going on here is in Asian culture, the emphasis on education, like hardcore emphasis on education, it just is, especially here in the United States, the increasing, the very high percentage of Asians coming to the United States are more likely to have professional degrees, okay? More likely to be educated. But first off, what's the most educated immigrant group in the United States? Probably across
アジア人でしょ。
the most highly educated immigrants, from what part of the world are they coming? Most highly educated immigrants, what would you say?
アジア人でしょ
Europe?。No. What would you say, bro? Asians? No, it's not even Asians.
え
Most highly educated.
どこ
Bro, where are they coming from? From Africa. Look, you don't get here from Africa if you don't have money, if you're not highly educated. Your chances of coming from Africa, like if you're migrating to the United States, you're probably going to have money.
まあ確
We
かに。
don't let a lot of really poor people in here just off on the whim. In spite of what many people think, it's not easy to come to the United States if you're poor.
でもマジ
Unless
で
you have a lot of family here and you connect via your family, but it's not easy to get to the U.S. if you're poor. The most highly educated people coming to the U.S. almost across the board are well, first off, some parts of Asia, but also
あアジア人
Africans.
もなんか
We'll talk about Africans later. But when you encounter Africans in that way, sub-Saharan Africans, and we'll do it in this room, they're going to likely be much more highly educated. But beyond that, what we see is with Asians, especially Indians,
うんインディアン
Koreans,
母数多いもん
and a
な。
few other groups, right? So you come here, you're already highly educated, and what are you going to do? Do your parents have college degrees?
My dad went to Penn State.
もう頭
Dad
い
went
い
to Penn State.
My mom has, she has like a elementary school education.
Okay, how important is education for you? Like, were you
Like-
destined to go to college?
Yes. Well, like if I didn't go to college, my parents would kill me.
あ
Okay,
あ
you same thing.
いやうちもそうだ
Bro.
よ。
I mean, yeah, I've always wanted to go to college.
あ
In your
So-
family, is it expected
Well-
that you go to college?
They expected me to go to college, though they never went to college themselves.
But they expected it. It's
They
just a
い
given.
やありがちよ
Bro.
な。
You? You expected to go to college?
Yeah,
うん
No question?
yeah, it's like for my parents, like generations, they're not expected like even like high school, even completing it. But like for ours, it's like you're expected to go to college and graduate.
あー
Okay, bro. You? You expected to go to college?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, sure, or yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
Dude,
うん
Yes, definitely.
dude, I mean, look, what we see, if I brought every Asian up here and walked them through the expectations and put a number to it, compared to if I brought other groups up, not Africans, Africans would be just as high. But white people, for example, it's not going to be as high. And so what we have here is, what's that mean? Who's going to have the highest, who's going to have disproportionately higher SAT scores? Asians.
確かに。
If we just let it go, if we actually really competed just on the basis of SATs, white people who feel like we've been left out, like, oh my God, all these minorities come through and they take all the spots that really we should have because we give them to minorities who score lower on their SATs. The fact of the matter is, white people are also getting affirmative action, particularly from Asians, right? So
Affirmative
the answer
action, yeah.
is B. Definitely, if you're
B
Asian,
no.
you got to score a lot higher than the average white person to get into a particular school, a good school. Certainly the Ivies, and certainly a place like Penn State, you got to score higher. Like, that's just the nature of it. And so that's affirmative action benefiting white people, by the way. I just want to point that out. So there may be like some, okay, so what do white people have? What do we have? It's like, I didn't get into the school I wanted to get into, but there's like some black guy got in the school, right? That's the standard idea. Or some Mexican guy or whatever. But you got into the school and some Asian didn't get in who even scored higher than you scored because the school identified that there are just too many Asians. You know, in Berkeley, on the Cal system, they identified that if they do nothing, if they just did it solely based on SAT scores, Berkeley is the premier school of the California university system. Berkeley would be like 90% Asian.
おー、やっ
And
ぱ
they
そう
were
なんだ。
just like, no, we can't have that. And within a few years, maybe it'll go up to 96 or 97% Asian.
なりそ
We're
う。
just going by
そうな
SAT
りそう。
scores. So,
というわけでいかがだったでしょうか。このチャンネルでは人種関連の大学の講義や人種に関連するニュース等を翻訳して配信したりしています。そういった動画をね見逃したくないよとか、このチャンネルをね応援してくれよって人は今のうちにチャンネル登録よろしくお願いします。というわけで今回もありがとうございました。また次回の動画で会いましょう。バイ。